Good morning everyone. Now in this video we would cover the subunit 2 and the topic is differing strands within the movement. We have studied about non-cooperation movement and how it was being launched by the Gandhiji by uniting the Muslims together. And this non-cooperation Khilafat movement began in January 1921. Various social groups, many different people across the country had participated in this movement, and each with its own specific aspiration, because the problems of the people, problems of the social groups were different and were varied from each other, and all of them responded to the call of Swaraj, but the term Swaraj meant very different for the different people. Some people have understood Swaraj in a very different manner, and the reason behind it was their own problems with the Britishers. So in this subunit we would study four main things. The first one is how this movement went and how it was successful in the towns, right? Then in the second topic we would cover two things. Second topic is that how the rebellion took place in the countryside, and in the countryside we would study two main cases. One is of Awadh peasants and second one is of Gudem rebellion that happened in Andhra Pradesh. And third, we will see the reactions of the plantation workers after the call of the Swaraj. So now let us start with the movement in the town. Right now, if we talk about that, in the cities and the towns, the movement was basically carried by the middle class. The participation of the middle class was very high. How did this unfold in the stages? We have already seen in the first subunit that it happened in three stages. First one was giving up of the or surrendering of the titles. Second one is leaving or boycotting the government jobs, offices, universities. And third one is, in case if the Britishers would try to suppress the movement, then they will launch a widespread civil disobedience movement. So it happened in the same way in the towns. Thousands of students left government controlled schools and colleges. Headmasters and teachers resigned. Lawyers gave up their legal practices, and the council elections were boycotted in most provinces except Madras, where the Justice Party, the party of non-Brahmins, was being formed. Why? The reason behind the formation of the Justice Party was that it is a party of the non-Brahmins, and in order to gain power in absence of the Brahmins who took part in the non-cooperation movement, they have made a Justice Party and participated in the council election by the name of Justice Party. The effect of this non-cooperation movement in the towns and cities and overall also had very dramatic in terms of economic front. Why? Because foreign goods were being boycotted by the people. Liquor shops were being picketed. This word picketed means a form of protest in which people make a human chain in front of factory or office or shops where the foreign goods were being sold, right? So now if we talk that due to this thing, due to boycott of the foreign goods and picketing of the liquor shop and foreign cloth burnt in huge bonfires, the import of the foreign cloth, import means that foreign cloths were coming from the Britain, right? So this import has been declined, almost halved between 1921 and 1922 when this civil disobedience movement happened. So on economic front this happened. At the same time, the value of these foreign goods have dropped from 102 crore to rupees 57 crore. In many places, merchants and traders refused to trade in foreign goods or finance foreign trade. So on economic front, the Britishers were on the loss, and as the boycott movement spread, people began discarding imported clothes and wearing only Indian ones. Production of Indian textile mills and handlooms went up. This is all positive sides of the non-cooperation movement in the cities and towns. But this thing couldn't last longer. Why? Because the decision or the stages that being taken by the Indians, by the protesters, was not suitable in their surroundings. Why? Because in this movement or the non-cooperation movement in the cities gradually slowed down for a variety of reasons. What was the reason? The first reason was that the khadi was very expensive and mass-produced milk cloths were very cheap, or they can be afforded by the poor people. But the poor people could not afford khadi, right? And how then could they boycott milk cloth for too long? For too long they cannot boycott the milk cloth or the cloth that was coming from the Britain or Manchester cloth, we can say. And like that only, the boycott of British institutions posed a problem. For the movement to be successful, alternative Indian institution had to be set up. Like if you leave the government controlled schools, so there should be an Indian administration controlled institution or schools or colleges where the student can go for studies and people can go for work. Right? How long they can refuse to study, and for how long they would refuse to do any work, right? So they returned. These were slow to come up. So students and teachers began trickling back to the government schools, and lawyers joined back work in the government courts. So here two things we can see, that non-cooperation movement was successful in the cities and towns, but it cannot become successful in the long run. Right, within a year from 1921 to 1922, the problems started coming. Khadi clothes were expensive, poor people could not afford it. Then people have to return back to the colleges, schools, as well as to their jobs. Lawyers have to again come back to government courts. So this was the case in the case of cities and towns. Now we'll look at the rebellion in the countryside. In countryside too, with the influence of the Gandhiji, right, the non-cooperation movement spread, and it also unfolded in stages, right? But here the stages or the struggles of the peasants and the tribals were very different, right? They were developing in a very different manner. First of all, we'll look at the example of the Awadh. In Awadh, if we talk about this Awadh peasant movement was led by Baba Ramchandra, and Baba Ramchandra was being supported by Jawaharlal Nehru. Baba Ramchandra was a sannyasi who had earlier been to Fiji as an indentured labor. Indentured labor means a laborer who is giving his work for free to someone else, right? As like the slaves, but the work done by them is of the agricultural work. The movement here was against Talukdar, and when Baba Ramchandra returned again to the Awadh region, so here the peasants were facing a lot of problem, and these problems were with the Talukdars and the landlords who demanded from peasants exorbitantly high rents and variety of other cesses. Talukdar, the group of villages together are being called as taluka, and the heads of these talukas were being called as talukdars. Landlord people, jamindar, you already know the feudal system. So in this kind of feudal system, the talukdars and landlords used to give their land for to the peasants, and in return they used to take the rents, but the amount of these rents were very high, and variety of other cesses means taxes, right? So variety of other taxes were being levied on them. So peasants were facing a lot of problem due to these cesses and due to these high rent. Now the peasants had to do begar. What does begar means? That the laborer have to do work in free, begar, right? Without any compensation, without any wages, they have to work in the field of talukdars or the landlords. So these peasants had to do begar and work at landlords' farms without any payment. as tenants, since they were taking the lands on the rent, so they were being called as tenants. As tenants, they had no security of tenure, means the time period for the land was not being fixed by the talukdars or the jamindars. Whenever they feel like taking back the land, they used to take it, and in that case peasants had to suffer. So being regularly evicted, so they could acquire no right over the leased land. The peasants movement demanded reduction of revenue, abolition of bigar, and social boycott of oppressive landlords. So these peasants were facing a lot of problem from the sides of the talukdars and landlords. In return, they raised three demand. One is the reduction of revenue. Whatever amount of taxes or revenue they were paying, it needed to be reduced. Second is that there should be no bigar. If they are doing something for the talukdars or the landlords, they need to be paid for the work. And third thing is the social boycott of oppressive landlords. These oppressive landlords were creating problems, so they wanted a social boycott of this. And in order to in order to get all of these things, at many places these people have created or organized Nai Dhobi Bands, means the very basic services that everybody require, right? Nai means the people here, your barber, and Dhobi means washerman, right? So these Nai Dhobi Band means that barbers and washerman and other basic services the landlords would not be able to get, right? So these Nai Dhobi Bands were organized by the panchayats to deprive landlords of the services of even barbers and the washerman. In June 1920, Jawaharlal Nehru began going around the villages in Awadh and talking to the villagers and trying to understand their grievances. And by October, the Awadh Kisan Sabha, in order to take the support of the peasants, Jawaharlal Nehru worked along with Baba Ramchandra, and they have set up a Awadh Kisan Sabha. It was being headed by Jawaharlal Nehru, Baba Ramchandra, and few others. Within a month, over 300 branches of Awadh Kisan Sabha had been set up in the villages around the region. So when the NCM or non-cooperation movement began the following year, the effort of the Congress was to integrate the Awadh peasants struggle into a wider struggle. What is the idea behind it? That the problems of the Awadh peasants should be integrated with the non-cooperation movement, so that they can also protest against the Britishers in the non-cooperation movement. The peasants movement, however, developed in the forms that the Congress leadership was unhappy with, right? But this idea wasn't a successful idea, because the Awadh peasants developed the form of protest in a very different manner, and in which they took some violent action, and because of that the Congress leadership was very unhappy with the peasants movement. As the movement spread in 1921, the houses of the talukdars and merchants were being attacked by the peasants. Bazaars were looted, grains hoarded were taken over, means whatever food grain was being hoarded, being collected by the talukdars or jamindars, these were being taken over by the peasants. They attacked the talukdars and merchants, they looted the bazaars, and in many places local leaders told peasants that the Gandhiji had declared that no taxes were to be paid. Right, rumors spread. These local leaders took the advantage of the name of Gandhiji and told peasants that Gandhiji has declared that there would be no taxes, right, and land has to be redistributed among the poor, right? Whatever land talukdars or landlords were having, these were being redistributed among the poor, and the name of the Mahatma Gandhi was being invoked to the sanction of all actions and aspiration. All these points, if you look at that, all of these points were against the idea of the Swaraj, right? Why the idea of the Swaraj was different? Because wait a minute, yes, Why the idea of Swaraj was not being followed here? Because if you look at all these activities are against the non-violence, right? What the Gandhiji have suggested was the non-violence, but everywhere you can see the violence is happening, right? And when the violence is being happening, so it means that people have not understood the idea of the non-cooperation movement started by the Gandhiji. So this was the case of the Awadh, right? And how the Awadh peasants were facing problem. Here you can see the new word. The first one is begar. Begar means labor, that villagers were forced to contribute without any payment. And you can see another word, picket, right? Picket, I have told you, a human chain in which people used to hold hands of one another and block the entrance, a form of demonstration or protest by which people block the entrance to a shop, factory or office, right? So I think you have understood what happened in the Awadh. Now let us come to the next rebellion, next issue that happened in the non-cooperation movement is the tribal peasants. Tribal peasants means the tribal people whose livelihood is dependent on agriculture, right? Tribal peasants interpreted that message of Mahatma Gandhi and the idea of Swaraj in yet another way, right? Their idea of Swaraj was very different from the idea of Swaraj of Gandhiji, right? Their understanding was different. In the Gudem Hills of Andhra Pradesh, for instance, a militant guerrilla movement spread in the early 1920s, right? So when we are saying guerrilla movement, you all must have studied about the guerrilla movement, and we can clearly say that guerrilla movement is not a good idea for Swaraj, because Swaraj or the non-cooperation movement was based on non-violence. It's not a form of struggle that the Congress would approve. Here, as in other forest regions, the colonial government had closed large forest area. If you remember your last year forest society and colonialism chapters, you must know what is reserved forest, protected forest or village forest. So here if we talk about around the Gudem Hills of Andhra Pradesh, right, their livelihood was dependent on the agriculture that they used to do under the forest area, right? And in the colonial government, large forest area was being reserved. They prevented people from entering the forest to graze their cattle or to collect fuel wood and fruits, right? So the tribal people were not being able to get their livelihood, and this enraged, this made people angry. Not only were their livelihoods affected, but they felt that their traditional rights were being denied, since these tribal people believe that all of forest, mountains have a spirit, and that is why they believe that it is their traditional right to go into the forest and to use the forest produces. So they thought that their livelihood is being affected as well as their traditional rights are being denied by the government, right? And lastly, when the British government began forcing them to contribute for begar, for road building, the hill people revolted. When they were being told to do the begar, means they have to do work for the British government without any payment, and that was for the road building. The person who came to lead them, the leader of the Gudem rebellion or the guerrilla movement, was the Alluri Sitaram Raju. You must have heard this name before in your class 7th or 8th, and you have seen his picture in class 9th NCERT too. So Alluri Sitaram Raju was the leader of the Gudem rebellion, and he was being claimed, or he claimed himself, that he had a variety of special powers. What special powers he had? That he believed he could make correct astrological predictions and heal people, and he could survive even bullet shots. Captivated by Raju, the rebels proclaimed that he was an incarnation of God. Since the tribal people believed Ayuri Sitaram Raju as an incarnation of God, and they believed that he can survive bullet shots, can heal people, can do astrological prediction. So he accepted whatever he said to the tribal peasants. Raju talked of the greatness of Mahatma Gandhi. Ayuri Sitaram Raju was influenced by the Mahatma Gandhi, and he was quite inspired by the NCM also, and persuaded follow up people to be a khadi and give up drinking. Drinking was a big problem in the tribal areas, so he inspired and persuaded people to be a khadi as well as give up drinking. But at the very same time, he asserted that India could be liberated only by the use of force, not non-violence. So he did not believe the idea of the non-violence of Mahatma Gandhi, and in return the Ghudam rebels attacked police stations, attempted to kill British officials, and carried on guerrilla warfare for achieving Swaraj. So here also the violence was being used for achieving Swaraj, which was against the idea of the non-cooperation movement of Mahatma Gandhi. Later on, Raju was being captured and he was being executed in 1924, and over time he became a folk hero. People have believed in the greatness of Ayuri Sitaram Raju. Now lastly we will see the Swaraj in the plantations. All of you know about the plantations, especially the tea plantation was very famous in the northern portion of West Bengal as well as in Assam. So workers who worked in the plantation have a very different understanding of Mahatma Gandhi's notion of Swaraj. For plantation workers in Assam, freedom meant the right to move freely in and out of their confined space in which they were enclosed. Actually, the Inland Immigration Act of 1859 have given Britishers power, right, to not to leave the plantation works for the workers until they take permission from the Britishers, right, and these kind of permission were never being given, right, retaining a link with the village from which they had come, and plantation workers were not permitted to leave the tea gardens without permission, and in fact they were rarely given such permission. And when they heard of the non-cooperation movement, they thought that Swaraj had come, and thousands of workers defied the authorities, left the plantations and headed home. Right, they thought that Swaraj had finally come, they can leave the plantation work and they can move back to their home. So their understanding of the Swaraj was to go back to their home. They believed that Gandhi Raj was coming and everyone would be given land in their own villages. They also believed that redistribution of land would happen when they go to their villages under the Gandhi Raj. They, however, never reached their destination, means they were never being able to get back to their homes. They stranded on the way by a railway and steamer strike. They were caught up by the police and brutally beaten up, and later on they were again being told to do the work in the plantation work. Here if you look at the visions of these movements were not defined by the Congress program. They interpreted the term Swaraj in their own ways, and imagining it to be a time when all sufferings and all troubles would be over. Yet when the tribal chanted Gandhiji's name and raised slogans demanding Swatantra Bharat, they were also emotionally relating to an all India agitation. What it means that people in the different groups, different social groups, individuals have a connection with their nation land, because when the Swatantra Bharat chanting was being done, so they feel connected with all India agitation, though they have their own problems and they wanted to solve their own problems with the help of these kind of nationwide protest, right? And another thing, that these people were not being trained properly. So when they acted in the name of Mahatma Gandhi or linking their movement to that of the Congress,
They were identifying with a movement which went beyond the limits of their immediate locality. They felt that it's not only for their locality, it is for the whole India. It's a nationwide movement. Now let us look at some of the pictures. Here you can see this image is depicting the Chauri Chaura incident. Chauri Chaura incident is important because after this Chauri Chaura incident that happened in Gorakhpur in 22nd February 1922, right, when a peaceful demonstration in a bazaar turned into a violent clash with the police, and due to this violence, Mahatma Gandhi immediately called off the non-cooperation movement. Though the closing of the non-cooperation movement was being done because of three reasons. One is satyagrahis were not being trained properly. Second, satyagrahis were tired of doing this non-cooperation movement. And third thing is that Chauri Chaura incident happened. Violence was happening at many places such as Andhra Pradesh, Awadh, right, in the name of non-cooperation movement. So by looking all of these things, Gandhiji has withdrawn from the non-cooperation movement. I hope you must have understood how the different social group reacted towards the non-cooperation Khilafat movement launched by the Gandhiji. Now, in the next video, we would start towards the civil disobedience. Thank you so much.